Taliban fighters have visited the abandoned US detention centre at Bagram airbase in Afghanistan. It held around 5,000 people at its height who were accused of being members of the Taliban, Al-Qaeda or Islamic State. Some of the fighters were reduced to tears, while others have vowed to retaliate.
The huge American detention centre at Bagram terrified Afghans. It was known as Afghanistan's Guantanamo Bay. And here American soldiers carried out a hidden war on terror. We're the first Western TV crew inside the infamous prison, known for its brutality and torture. We squeeze through holes where prisoners force their way out through the corrugated walls.
How did he get in?
They clawed their way to freedom weeks after US soldiers left the base in a hurry and hours after Kabul fell to the Taliban. The cages each housed about 30 prisoners, and inside them were some Taliban fighters arrested by US forces, some viewed as high-ranking terrorists, but also many ordinary Afghans, just deemed suspicious. The reinforced cage ceiling allowed the US soldiers to constantly observe the captives they saw as some of the most dangerous men in the country, held in these crammed conditions indefinitely. But with no charges, no trial and no justice, no one will ever know. Many of the Taliban fighters are seeing the notorious detention centre for the first time, looking through the cage ceiling, just as the US soldiers have done before them. Now they're in charge, and it was the Taliban who freed those captives still trapped here. Among them, it's thought, hundreds of ISK captives. It was in these desperate conditions that the American commanders admit the thousands held without charge meant many more were indoctrinated and radicalized.
All
of the Talibs are ready to carry out suicide car bombs to avenge this. They're not scared. We do this for Allah, not profit. America has lots of money, but they're not willing to blow themselves up. The Taliban will sit in a car with a bomb, drive it and set it off. We've made sacrifices before, and after this we will again. We are suicide attackers.
Seeing these cages prompts them to pray for those who lost so many of their years inside here. Some of these fighters are moved to tears. But more worryingly, they also want retribution.
The American and government of Afghanistan, the last government of Afghanistan, was really destroying my country, who killed my brother, who killed my religion. And I want to make against the government of Afghanistan and America.
Bagram's where many of the coalition attack missions were launched from, but also where Afghans believe shameful acts were committed in the name of the war on terror. It may also turn out to be one of the most successful recruiting centres for anti-Western terrorists. Alex Crawford, Sky News,